Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's so good to see you and welcome back to my kitchen and yet another gadget test. Now, if you haven't seen my gadget test playlist, I'll put a link down below to it. I've tested many things that I found at the thrift store, things that I purchased just because I'm curious to see whether or not it works. And the retro ones are some of my favorite ones, the ones that I watched the infomercials on late at night when I was a younger person and always wondered how well they worked, like the Ron Popeil pasta maker. Oh, the hot dogger was pretty great too, when I electrocuted hot dogs using this appliance called the hot dogger. Intriguing, all of this. If you missed it, I'll put links down below because all of it is fascinating. Love these gadgets. And my number one thing is when I do these tests is whether or not the product works as well as it seems in the infomercials, in the commercials. And yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm going to be testing this gadget. Dun, 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 dun. This is the Nostalgia 3-in-1 breakfast station. I'm not sure exactly what makes this retro. I don't believe they had this in retro days, a cooker that cooked 3 things at once. I could be wrong. Let me know down in the comments. The company name is Nostalgia. I have tested gadgets from Nostalgia before. I remember testing a hot dog appliance. It was like a toaster where you could cook the hot dog and the bun at the same time. I also did a toaster that could cook waffles where you put waffle batter into it. I believe that was a Nostalgia item as well. But I've never used the 3-in-1 cooker. I remember seeing this a while back and then I'm like, why did I never test it? So here I am to test it and let's see how it works. This cost $90. I purchased this online. It was $89.99. And let's see if it is up to snuff. Apparently I can make coffee, I can toast my toast, and I can cook my eggs and bacon or sausage in it as well, all at the same time with one appliance. Essentially, it's a toaster oven that's connected to a coffee maker, and then at the top part of the toaster, you can grill up your eggs and sausage. So let's go ahead and get it out of the box and see how well it works. So here we go. User manual, important. Looks like a glass lid. I'll have to assemble the knob. There's just a little hole there. I don't know if you can see that. Tray. The cooker. And a knob. It's cuter than I expected. It's a little bit like cooking with an easy bake oven or something. Everything has its particular little space. My biggest question is, would this be something that would be good to have in, say, a dorm room space or a space like a studio where you didn't have a kitchen? So theoretically, you have all the ways to cook everything. You have a means to boil water. Maybe you could do instant noodles or something. You have kind of a teppanyaki kind of grill top where you could make any kind of pancake or some kind of grilling on the top. And then below you've got a toaster where you could rewarm TV dinners or leftovers, make some toast, make some pizza. So theoretically, this has a lot of different options to this if it works well enough. Today I'm going to just be making breakfast because it does advertise itself as a 3-in-1 breakfast maker, but I think it might be interesting to try other things with this as well. If you are interested, let me know down in the comments. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all of this tape and wash all these things before we test it out. Okay, so I will be right back. Alrighty, so I'm back with our breakfast cooker, cleaned everything, assembled the lid, and as per my other Nostalgia gadget tests, the build quality of this is not very good in my opinion. The lid doesn't really sit very well on the grill on the top, and the plastic for the coffee maker is very flimsy. And when I was lifting the back compartment where I found the scooper they provide for the coffee, which is nice to be able to measure out the coffee, this lid came off. So I had to pop it back into place. And sometimes it closes and sometimes it sticks like that. If you were to use this every day, I don't believe it would last all that long. So inside here, we have the filter basket. And this part, which holds a filter basket, and this you can remove to wash, but these little pegs are quite small. See that? There's one on each side. and you have to twist it to fill it into the notches, those little pegs. And I can imagine them breaking because it doesn't go in that neatly. But how often you're going to remove this, I don't know. It's up to your own discretion in terms of how often you wash these kinds of things, but that's another part where I can imagine it would break very easily. The filter basket has a little handle that you can hold it by, and I like the fact that it's reusable, that you don't need to buy paper filters. This is not very taut though. It's nylon, I believe, rather than being metal, but I like that you don't need to buy anything else. So that fits in there, and that folds down into there. And that's the coffee maker. This is the pot. And it doesn't slide out very easily either. So this says it makes 3 servings. It goes up to 3. So I will make the coffee a little bit later, I think. So here are the dials down below. The functions are here. You can opt to just use the grill top. You can use just the oven, or you can have the combination of toaster and oven at the same time, or you can have just the warming oven option, which is great in terms of what you're trying to cook. I think there's probably a heating element on the top inside the toaster and a heating element down below. And so this turns them on and off. Now it does say if you're going to be using the grill top to allow it to preheat. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because I'm going to be cooking some sausage and bacon up top. So I'm going to make sure my power strip is on. And then I'm going to turn this on. Oh, it has a crumb tray. And make sure that's pushed all the way in. This part is just like a typical toaster oven. You have a rack that is adjustable. So it's a little bit tight, but you can put it on the top or the bottom. I'm just going to leave it in the middle. It is very, very tight. It doesn't come in and out easily at all. And it does come with a baking tray here if you were to make, say, a pizza or something. Since we need to preheat this, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the toaster and bake option. So both heating elements inside the top and the bottom will be on. And then we set this timer. I'm going to just set it for 30 minutes. If you need it for less time, you would set it past 5 and then go back and set it to 3 or 4. But we're going to just set it on 30 minutes and get this preheating so that this gets hot enough that we can actually cook on it. It says 5 minutes. And let's go ahead and make some coffee. And like many new appliances and toasters, it's emanating and smoking plasticky smells. And it's smoking from the top up here as well. Clean this already, and this is removable, this grill top. And it is right on top of the heating unit of the toaster. So it says very clearly, hot, do not touch. So we're gonna shift this over, and I'm gonna put 2 scoops of coffee right in there. Close that, and then fill the reservoir with 2 servings of water. Oop, I just broke the lid again. So gonna pop that back on. Yeah, okay. And we should have some coffee brewing there shortly. So while our coffee is brewing, let's go ahead and cook. I'm also going to make some toast, but I'm not going to put the toast in there quite yet because I want to cook the stuff first. It said to oil the top of this, so I'm going to do that before cooking, even though it's a non-stick surface. Now we're on. I've got 2 pieces of bacon here. Sizzle, I like a sizzle. And I've got 2 sausages here. I spoke too soon. It's not sizzling now. And these are frozen pre-cooked sausages. So basically we're just going to get some color on them. Now I'm put the bacon on first so that we can cook our eggs in a little bacon. It's gonna be delicious. So the bacon significantly cooled this off. So maybe we'll move that over here now. Yeah. So we'll move it over now that this part cooled off. And put the sausages over there. And I think what I'll do is I'll put the lid on this. Let's kind of capture some of that heat. Now, as I mentioned before, the lid does not fit on here that well. It seems not to line up. And the heat is not really variable. It's just on or off. So you'll just have to use your own discretion when it comes to cooking with this. It's not like a regular hot plate where you can adjust the temperature. But since this isn't very hot, we'll put the lid on and allow some of the steam to help that cook. Meanwhile, our coffee looks to be brewing nicely. And it has a hot plate down below, so it'll keep it warm. I'm going to put my eggs on a little bit later once the bacon cooks up a little bit more. So rather than going for the combo, if you're going to use the grill option, just put it on grill, I guess. I'm hoping it just keeps it on, but I'm not sure. So let's give this a flip. We don't have any caramelization yet. It's just kind of just exuding the bacon grease. And the sausages are beginning just a little bit to brown slightly. But this is at least sizzling, which it wasn't doing before. All right, we'll put the lid on again. Okay, so this is doing better. So definitely put it on grill mode. I'm turning it over rather than grill and toast, because then it doesn't leave it on continuously. I have to say the instructions that come with the cooker are very, very minimal. It does have it in French and in Spanish, but very similar to the waffle toaster, very minimal instructions. It shows you settings, it shows you the parts, one page of operation, a little bit about cleaning, and then that's it. And then this is pretty funny. It tells you recipes, right? But there are no recipes. These are just suggestions of what you can cook in the machine, not recipes at all. No amounts. It says you can make bacon and eggs and toast, $silver pancakes, bagels and English muffins, sliders, burgers and buns. Of course you can. It doesn't tell you how to do that. It just says, here you go, which I found funny. So after 6 minutes and 49 seconds, now the heating unit is turned off. It's no longer glowing. So I thought putting it on the grill option would leave this on all the time. It does not, but it definitely does seem to leave it on more than when you put it on toast and grill. So here's the bacon. It is cooking. I'm gonna turn it over. Okay, now it's starting to caramelize better, good. But it's definitely quieted down since the heating unit turned off. So my thought so far on this cooker is that it's pretty slow. Typically when I cook bacon at home, I turn on my oven to 400 degrees, let it preheat. So that preheating does take, 10 to 15 minutes. So this takes some preheating too, about 5 minutes. At 400 degrees, and I place my bacon onto a baking tray that's lined with foil or parchment paper, and then bake it for 10 minutes. I don't even flip it. I think it's the most wonderful way to cook bacon. You don't have to attend to it at all, and it's crispy, and it's contained, and I love it. So this so far is 8 minutes and 51 seconds. So this is pretty close to cooking it in the oven in terms of time, yet it is not cooked. So we'll just keep going. Alrighty, lovely. So I've turned my bacon a few times, and now I'm going to pop in my eggs. Now I can tell that the oven or the grill is not on because the bacon sizzling has kind of waned. But I think it'll be all right because I think there's still some residual heat to cook our eggs. So I've got some bacon fat here, and I'm gonna crack my eggs into there. 2 eggs. This is gonna be a big breakfast. A little salt, a little pepper, and I'm gonna pop this lid on to kind of steam the eggs. So it's not sizzling at the moment because the unit is not on. Oh, I just heard it click on. So we should hear some sizzling soon. The bacon looks nearly done, at least on this side. It's crispy in the middle. The sides have not quite evenly cooked, but so it goes with bacon. That's why I love the oven technique. It cooks bacon so evenly and you don't even have to turn it. It smells great though. I love the smell of cooked bacon. Now these sausages, surprisingly, even though they're pre-cooked, are taking longer to cook, but these were frozen, so we'll let them go. The egg whites are solidifying a little bit on the outside, but the middles are not set at all. So we'll just let them steam up. So I took off my 2 pieces of bacon. My sausage are still there, and the eggs are nearly done. I'm going to now add my pieces of toast. And this could fit up to 4 pieces. And I'm going to set it now to bake and grill. Yeah, I like my eggs a little bit runny on top, and the sausage looked to be done, finally. So altogether, 21 minutes on the clock here, give or take a couple minutes because I didn't start it from the very beginning. So 20 minutes, not too bad considering, but I don't know that would be any shorter cooking it this way rather than cooking it on your stovetop. So, got my eggs. I broke one of the yolks, unfortunately. It says it's non-stick, but I do have some sticking. I definitely had enough grease on here. I cooked my bacon on here and I sprayed it before I even put the bacon sausage on. So we'll have to probably soak that to get those bits off. Now, if you like your bacon less crispy, then this obviously would take a little less time. This was a piece of plastic that I found in the basket of the coffee maker, so make sure you wash your appliances before using them. And once this toast is ready, ooh, toast is ready. Nice. Okay, now it's important to just turn this on to coffee. Okay, so I guess everything stays on. Okay, I'm going to turn this to oven off, and then my coffee maker still stays on so that my coffee stays warm. Okay, good. Alrighty, my lovelies, here is my beautiful breakfast cooked on the 3-in-1 retro breakfast station. It looks beautiful, doesn't it? And I've got a cup of coffee, and let's give this a taste. Alrighty, here we go. Cheers. Coffee is delicious and hot. A lot of that's going to be dependent on your coffee itself. This was just ground. It's just a lovely, 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 lovely fresh cup of hot coffee. And let's go ahead and give this a taste. Itadakimasu. I love bacon so much, and tomato especially. Best friends, tomato and bacon. Slightly sweet, acidic, juicy, crisp, fatty, smoky. So good. I think my ultimate favorite sandwich ever, if I had to just choose one, it would probably be a BLT. It's so good. All right, let me get a napkin. Love it. Alrighty, that's lovely. Bacon is well cooked in the middle. The sides here are a little bit chewier than I would like. A little bit chewy. Can you see that? Focus camera. But still delicious. Let's have a piece of toast with our egg. So good. Eggs and toast. So good. And because that egg was cooked in bacon fat, smoky, delicious, buttery, egg and egg yolk. Crispy, warm toast. I think another thing that is a bit challenging perhaps for this machine is kind of coordinating everything to cook at the same time. And it's just like you would cook a meal at home, except you're using this cooker. What I would do is figure out what's going to take the longest and begin cooking that first. So the coffee you don't really have to worry about. It's going to stay warm But in our case, it was the bacon and the sausage, the meat. So cook those first and then place the things that are going to cook less towards the end of the cooking process. If we had put our toast in at the same time that we had started our bacon, our toast would have been dry and burnt, really. So you have to kind of figure all those things out. Once you do that, then I think you'll be fine. So there's a little bit of a learning curve, but this machine says what it's going to do. It does cook all your breakfast items together. The build quality is not that great in my opinion. The plastic isn't that rigid. The fit of the lid isn't that great. And I'm imagining some of this cleaning might be a little bit tricky, although this tray is removable, so we can take that to the sink and give it a good wash. It is relatively compact. So if space is an issue, this might be something to consider, but I don't see that it does anything more than what a toaster, a good quality toaster oven. This was $90. I think you could get a toaster oven and a coffee maker, 2 separate items for perhaps even less than this whole machine. But if space is an issue, this might be something to consider. It does have the grill top on top, but the grill top doesn't heat up that well, that evenly, that consistently, and you cannot adjust the temperature. So that is, to me, a very limiting factor to this whole setup. Now, I found some other appliances that are multi-cooker appliances that I'm really excited to test out too, to see if they have some of these options that I'm talking about, all in kind of one unit. I haven't had a piece of sausage yet, so I better do that. Delicious. I love breakfast sausage. I think it's the sage that I really love in breakfast sausage. The sage and kind of the fennel flavors in breakfast sausage, just so good. Toast, I love this meal. Breakfast for any meal is great for me. All right, some more bacon and tomato on toast. So good. Right, Melodies, there you have it. The Nostalgia 3-in-1 breakfast cooker. If there are other gadgets, items, nostalgic ones, new ones that you're interested, that you'd like me to test out that I have not tested out, let me know down in the comments below. I'll see what I can do. And yeah, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! So delicious.